Hello and welcome to National Focus for Monday, August 19, 2024. I am Adisia Burton. In the headlines, World Health Organization declares monkeypox a global health emergency. Government officials engaged on designing climate-resilient projects. And Dominica launches Flavors of the World Festival. The details of the headline stories and more when we return.
Ride safe, wear a helmet, safer roads in the nature aisle. This message was brought to you by the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Welcome back. Due to an upsurge in cases in the Democratic Republic of Congo and an increasing number of countries in Africa, monkeypox or Mpox has been declared a public health emergency of international concern by Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus. This declaration, made on August 14, 2024, was advised by the International Health Regulations Committee of Independent Experts after the review of data presented by the World Health Organization and affected countries. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services, Honorable Kent Edwards, says measures will be taken to mitigate entry and spread of the disease.
Monkeypox is a contagious disease. The symptoms are obviously flu-like symptoms and pustules on your skin lesions on your skin. And it is not COVID-19. As we know, COVID-19 was spread via air, but this monkeypox is spread via contact. So you have to, it is spread via contact. And when you contact somebody with monkeypox, you obviously can get the disease. So, and since we know that it is very contagious and the World Health Organization has declared it to be an emergency, obviously governments will put in place measures to mitigate the entrance into various islands. And I'm sure the government will take action into preventing the entry, first of all, and if so, the spread of the disease worldwide.
Monkeypox poses a high risk to individuals who are immunocompromised.
Because of the way people travel these days and the easy mode of travel, there's a possibility that it could spread. So that's why the World Health Organization is taking action to prevent the spread of it. But it is more on the continent of Africa for now. But as we know, it is highly contagious and it can even be fatal in the people that are immunocompromised or people that are young and so forth. Young babies and people that are cancer patients, and if you're immunocompromised, it is worse for you in those people. But then it is a disease that we know that is very, very contagious, and it is spread via contact. So we have to take measures to avoid that.
Mpox can be prevented by avoiding physical contact with someone who has the disease. Vaccination can help prevent infection for people at risk. The 2 vaccines currently in use for Mpox are recommended by the World Health Organization Strategic Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization and are also approved by listed national regulatory authorities, as well as by individual countries, including Nigeria and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
There is a vaccine available. So there's a vaccine available, and the vaccine is available worldwide. So the best thing about it is to get people vaccinated. And I'm sure that based on based on how it is spread and the areas that we know it is endemic in, people that coming from these parts will be mandated to be vaccinated, I'm sure, to enter various countries.
Monkeypox can be transmitted to humans through physical contact with someone who is infectious, with contaminated materials or infected animals. The common symptoms of Mpox are skin rash or mucosal lesions, which can last 2 to 4 weeks, accompanied by fever, headache, muscle aches, backache, low energy, and swollen lymph nodes. Enrollment of continuing students at Dominica State College began on Monday, while orientation for the new academic year takes place next week. Officer in charge, Ms. Trudy Christian, says part of their focus has been on getting the facility ready.
From today, our continuing students are able to come in, pay their semester fees, and start choosing their classes for the new academic year. The new students have to wait for orientation week to do that. That is from August 26th to the 30th. That's our orientation week.
She says orientation is important in guiding students to succeed in a college environment.
So preparations have been going on in earnest for the new academic year 2024-2025, which begins in September 2nd to be precise. And the Dominica State College has been going through a phase of renovation, restoration, and repair. We've been focusing heavily on infrastructural repair. The government of Dominica has commissioned a major project to repair our lower campus block A and B. Block C was previously restored and was opened or reopened in January. And over the summer, the project to restore block A and B took off. So we are getting ready to welcome our new students and our returning students in a renovated campus. There are still some other areas of the campus that will require renovation, but it is a definite improvement for Block A and B to be renovated for the upcoming year. So the first step has been to restore the infrastructure.
The admin office, which had to be relocated post-Hurricane Maria, is moving back to its original location for the new academic year.
It has been a big task. Of course, we were located in the upper campus, the office of the president, the bursar's office, the cashier, the registrar's office. These offices were located there since Hurricane Maria in one conjoined space. And as you can imagine, it was not ideal for so many different offices to be in limited space. So we have done repair work on the previous administrative block, which is in the lower campus where we are right now. And the administrative offices have finally been able to move back into their old space in this administrative block. So we're very happy about that.
Ms. Christian says under this current administration, access to a college education has evolved in significant ways.
Tertiary education is typically very expensive, but I would say necessary. And the government of Dominica a few years ago, I believe it was in 2019, took on the burden of covering the tuition for students, local students from Dominica at the Dominica State College. So tuition is covered by the government of Dominica, and that of course has enabled more students to benefit from tertiary education. There are minimal fees that the students have to cover themselves, and so each semester a student right now currently will have to pay $200 for basic access, that is to health insurance and to the online learning platform that we use to manage their grades, to manage the learning content that they are provided with.
Based on the general fee structure, students are expected to pay $200 in per semester, while government retains the cost of tuition. The Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment and Constituency Empowerment, in collaboration with the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, have commenced training with 30 technical officers and sectoral experts on August 19 to build their capacities to develop climate-resilient projects. The three-day workshop will include specialized training on project development, environmental and social safeguards and performance safeguards, gender mainstreaming and sexual exploitation, harassment and child abuse prevention. A primary outcome of the workshop is to equip participants with the skills necessary to develop and prepare comprehensive project proposals. These proposals are crucial for securing financial support from major multilateral climate funding institutions, including the Green Climate Fund and the Adaptation Fund. The workshop aims to increase the likelihood of successful funding applicants, which is essential for implementing climate resilience projects and ultimately advancing sustainable development in the region. The workshop is part of the Small Island Developing States Capacity and Resilience (SIDAR) program. Dominica is one of 8 CARICOM countries benefiting from the SIDAR program, which is financed by the United Kingdom Foreign Commonwealth Development Office. Cuisine lovers in Dominica and around the globe can now prepare their taste buds for another delightful treat on Dominica's events calendar, as the Flavors of the World Committee, in collaboration with Discover Dominica Authority, launched the Flavors of the World Festival on Friday. The festival is set for September 29 this year.
On Sunday, the 29th of September, at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium forecourt, we will be wined and dined and entertained with music, dance, and delectable cuisine. The public will have the opportunity to taste foods from many different regions of the world. For some of the food stalls, we will have chefs coming into Dominica for this event, and we will provide a variety of foods for every taste, including those you will discover even here in Dominica. We will have Chinese, Indian, Lebanese, Haitian, African, and Spanish cuisine, along with foods from our Kalinago people, the Health and Wellness Association, Creole foods, and the like.
The addition of the Flavors of the World Festival brings greater value to Dominica's annual events lineup and promotes gastronomy tourism.
Gastronomy is more than just food. It reflects the culture, heritage, traditions, and the sense of community of different people. In other words, it is an identifier or a marker of the way of life of a people. It is also a method for promoting understanding among different cultures. It facilitates inclusion and it brings people from different culture together. Flavors of the World Festival is a testament of all of this.
Proceeds of the festival will go towards the renovation of the historical landmark Our Lady of Fairhaven Cathedral.
This is a remarkable festival that's being planned, and the proceeds from it will be going into a project that has been on now for a number of years, and a project that we want to see completed. The Cathedral of Our Lady of Fairhaven stands as a historic building in Roseau and in Dominica. And as was mentioned, possibly one of the oldest buildings in this city, and therefore has become part of the landscape of this city.
Individuals were invited to support the upcoming event and the renovation of this historically significant landmark.
We need your help. We need you to be able to make contributions, and as significant contributions as you can make. Every amount will help so that we can complete this work and have the cathedral reopened for worship and reopened for the enjoyment of all who will also visit Dominica and see this place that is part of our history, our heritage, our identity.
The Flavors of the World Festival will be hosted at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium on September 29 from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. The Ministry of Education, Human Resource Planning, Vocational Training and National Excellence in collaboration with the Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, will present the results of the 2024 exams at the State House on Tuesday. Top executives of the regional examination body have been in Dominica in the lead up to tomorrow's press conference. The visiting CXC team includes Registrar and Chief Executive Officer Dr. Wayne Wesley, Director of Operations Dr. Nicole Manning, and CXC's Corporate Marketing Manager Mr. Richard Rose. The Minister for Education, the Honorable Octavia Alfred, says this visit by CXC is historical as it is a first for Dominica. The press conference begins at 10 a.m. on August 20. GIS will carry the proceedings live on its social media platforms. A team from the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, is assisting Dominica with its supply chain issues. Dominica, like many other Caribbean countries, receive their medical supplies from other countries, some of whom are affected by the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war and other global events.
They were here to try to look at the situation, investigate it, and see how we could solve the issues of supplies coming into Dominica, because our medicines and pharmaceuticals have to be shipped from overseas into Dominica, and because of the various challenges in terms of the wars around the world, there are issues as to us bringing our supplies into Dominica. And PAHO is the organization that we get our vaccines from. And a cold chain must be maintained. And when we receive our vaccines, it must be shipped straight to Dominica to maintain the cold chain, to avoid spoilage and us discarding that.
The PAHO team is in Dominica to fine-tune all these issues confronting the supply chain for medicines and pharmaceuticals in Dominica. The team has also put together a plan of action which will be implemented to alleviate the problems posed by supply chain issues into Dominica.
Especially for the perishable supplies like vaccines, for example. Because as you know, it must be maintained at a temperature, and if there are any delays in any of the airports, we will have an issue and we will have to discard the vaccine. So they're trying to limit that and eliminate it altogether. And they went to the various health districts. They went to Castle Bruce Health Center. They also visited the Marigot Hospital and the Wesley Health Center to witness firsthand as to how supplies are brought to the health centers, how they are stored, and how they are dispensed to the public.
The Honorable Edwards says the PAHO team was able to examine various aspects of the shipment of pharmaceutical supplies into Dominica with a view of helping resolving any setbacks.
They saw firsthand everything that is done in terms of pharmaceuticals reaching the health district, reaching the health centers, the patients coming in, how it is stored, how it is received, and what are the expiration dates and so on the supplies, to see our stockouts and to measure in terms of the amount of supplies that we have versus what we need, and if the essential drugs are available. So it was an entire study as to the supplies in Dominica in terms of pharmaceuticals and medicines.
Coming up next, the Creole News highlights with Jeno Jacob.
Bienvenue à ce nouvel en créole, non, monsieur Jeno Jacob. Yon team PAHO, Organisation Santé l'autre pays international, est ici pour 5 jours pour garder manière ministre Santé Dominique qu'a ménagé remède de l'hôpital. Nous parlons et Honorable Kent Edwards, secrétaire parlement en ministre Santé contre visite Salah.
Il tenait et puis même PAHO ici semaine passée qui vient garder compte manière nous qu'a mené remède avec l'autre bagaille en pays. Parce que nous savons, nous sommes un petit pays, et pour nous mener bagaille ici, il faut passer différents pays avant d'arriver Dominique. Et because of ça, les bagailles sont dommagés, les bagailles sont gâtés. So, PAHO voulait un team ici pour travailler avec nous, pour garder, pour manier nous ça ranger bagaille ça, pour nous ne plus mettre qui bon, et puis mettre nous ça dire plus, et puis il arrive Dominique, mais parce qu'il gâté. So, ils viennent, ils allent tout partout, ils étaient en lab, ils étaient allés Castle Bruce, ils allés Wesley, ils allés Marigot, pour voir manière en pharmaciste là qui travaille, manière il a pack wimedli, manye I ka store bagay li ek manye moun ka vini ache. Pou wè si anyen expire, pou wè ki mizi bagay nou ni, avec ki mizi bagay nou ka manchi.
Et the team PAHO ka ale mette yon de mizi en place.
Yo ka mette epi sa yo ka kwe SOPs, Standard Operating Procedures en place pour faire tout bagay marcher bien. Because quand vous savez, pharmaceuticals ka vini Dominique, nous ou ba lab, nous ou ba l'hôpital, nous ou ba X-ray, nous ou ba Wezinier, nous ou ba Lajol, nous ou ba tout ces districts là oui mais. So ça c'est very important avec nous savons NCDs avec bagay sa yo ka affecté mon Dominique avec nous besoin ni oui mais nous avec vaccine. C'est vaccine qui ka vini ou ça vient pour fouette, vient pour wete en temperature qui bon. Avec passe Dominique, c'est une place qui pas ni en fridge dans airport là. Il est pour venir direct hors l'autre pays avec nous un truck fouette qui can masser hors airport là. Mais si il y a un delay en pièce airport là, nous qui taper vaccine qui gâti, nous qui pour jeter. So mais nous parler sa pièce parce que c'est ça qui cher. So pas revenir ici pour mettre tout bagay en ordre pour nous garder nous ça faire tout bagay marcher bien. So nous ça oui mettre nous en leur temps, nous ça tout bagay nous en ordre et nous ça esprit ces bagay là qui ça gâti, manière ça mener Dominique plus facile.
Et des teams là joignent et puis autant départements.
Yo joignent avec tout même Ministry of Health, minister, yo joignent avec permanent secretary, yo joignent avec l'hôpital, yo joignent avec lab, yo joignent avec tout différent, yo joignent avec customs because vous savez tout bagay a venir l'autre pays obligé passer en customs. So tout ça est involved en tout ça qui a fait. Aid Central Office, Infection Control, yo parler avec tout le monde, avec yo pour toute information yo ça taper, puis ça virer avec mettre un plan en place pour nous ça ranger tout ça qui a fait. So nous savons que taper oui mettre nous Dominique bien facile avec monde qui taper oui mettre en l'état.
Gouvernement a fait préparation pour Dominica State College ouvert en septembre dans l'année salaire. Autant travail j'ai fait pour préparer chambre pour chaîne classe. Office administration situé là à présent. Étudiants j'ai commencé à enregistrer pour rentrer en college. Au moins 2000 étudiants qui rentrent au college dans l'année salaire. Cyclone Maria détruit le college là et puis il y a un challenge pour le gouvernement. Mais le gouvernement a fait autant de travail en éducation à Dominique. Étudiants Dominique qui a continué à faire bien en éducation. Nous avons espoir que Dominica State College qui est ouvert en septembre dans l'année salaire. Discover Dominica Authority et puis autorité l'Église catholique qui a une activité pour masser l'argent pour ranger fêter l'Église catholique cathédrale là en Ozo. Autorité qui a demandé Dominicien pour faire contribution. Cathédrale Ozo ni autant histoire et puis aussi c'est une attraction pour touristes. Ils ont lancé Flavors of the World, ça qui prend place 29 septembre en Windsor Park Stadium. Ils ont mangé dans différents pays qu'avant. L'argent qu'ils fait c'est pour activité ça là, c'est pour ranger fêter cathédrale Ozo. Ça c'est tout à ce nouvelle en créole. Non monsieur Geno Jacob, changez nous en temps cyclone, continuez faire préparation aujourd'hui. Au revoir.
And that was Geno Jacob with the Creole News highlights. For today's weather advisory, a gradual reduction in moisture levels can be expected across the island during the next 24 hours as a high-pressure system begins to establish itself across the area. However, patches of low-level clouds moving with the wind flow can be expected to result in occasional cloudiness and a few passing showers during the period. Low concentration of dust haze can be expected during the next few days. People with respiratory sensitivities are advised to continue taking the necessary precautions to avoid complications. Slight to moderate seas can be expected in open water, with waves expected to peak near 5 feet. As we're in the midst of the hurricane season, individuals are advised to take precautions to protect themselves and their families. For today's hurricane tip, avoid driving or going outdoors during a storm. Flooding and damaging winds can make traveling dangerous. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I am Adisia Burton. Thank you for watching.